Melissa. Welcome to The Honest Life. Today I wanted to share with you 4 books that I am reading this summer. And I am reading all of them at the same time. I used to think, I do enjoy reading, but I haven't always been much of a reader. And I used to think I needed to finish one book before I started another. So if I got kind of bored with a book, I would just put it down and feel like I just couldn't start something else until I finished that one. But my mindset on reading has changed, and I don't read every one of these books every night. Usually I will read out of 1 or 2 of the books, and it's just whatever I'm in the mood for, right? I mean, sometimes you turn on Netflix and you're like, well, that's a really good show, but I'm just kind of not feeling it right now. I don't want something so dramatic. I need something a little lighthearted, or I kind of want to watch a documentary. You can just be in the mood for different things on different days. So I've been reading through these books this summer, and I'm about halfway through each of them. And this book is a parenting book. It's called Love and Logic Magic for Early Childhood. And I am really liking this book. A friend let me borrow it. And she has 4 children, ages 5 through 13, and they are very well behaved and respectful and very smart, intelligent children. And they just have a really sweet family. And so I'm always asking her for parenting advice. And she recommended the Love and Logic books. And funny enough, a teacher friend of mine said that she was reading the Teacher Love and Logic book before starting the next school year and said it was amazing. And I was like, oh my goodness, I kind of want to read that for parenting, and they have them for parenting. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm implementing some of the things that I have read in here already, and I'm already seeing a difference with my toddler, and I really like the parenting style that this promotes. So if you're interested, check it out. Love and Logic. The next book I'm reading is called In His Steps. It is a Christian fiction book. Really, I just picked up this book because I was going through some things and I found it in my stuff, and my grandma gave it to me years ago, and I thought, well, I should read that. My grandma gave it to me. Maybe it's good. I'm sure she's read it. So I just started reading it. I wanted to read something that was fiction but inspirational, and I felt like it was kind of slow at first, but I am interested in it now, and I am enjoying it. And so, yep, I'm about halfway through that book too. So basically it's about a pastor of a church that is in a very well-to-do area. Very high-class people are attending his church, and then they have someone come into the church that sort of challenges their faith and their character, and question if they are actually living like Jesus would live. And then the guy passes away shortly after, and then the pastor kind of gives a charge to his congregation to live their life for 1 year asking the question, what would Jesus do? So it's pretty interesting, and it's really cool to see how people implement that in the characters. Let's see, In His Steps by Charles M. Sheldon. This book is not as cheery of a book. It's deep, and it's very good, and very good for me to be reading. A good friend of mine also recommended this book to me whenever I was telling her about my struggles with my mental health and depression and pregnancy. She said that she was reading this and she thought that I would enjoy it, and it is called Darkness is My Only Companion by Catherine Green McCreight. And there's a glare. And this book is it's nonfiction. It is a woman who is a priest and has bipolar disorder. And it's basically her journey through the ups and downs of her bipolar disorder, and dealing with the social aspects of what that means, how it affects her job, and then also just giving practical ways to, support and communicate with people who struggle with mental health. And it also helps you to understand, I guess, your Christian faith and how, to be a faithful Christian while in depression and what that looks like, and how that might look different from whenever you are well. And what is the reason for all of this, and what does the Bible say about it? So it's a Christian response to mental illness. It's very interesting, a very good read. Again, halfway through this book, and so I have to be in a mood for something more serious, and not only because it's about depression and bipolar disorder and it can just feel very heavy, but also because whenever I'm reading it, I'm usually ending up dealing with something in myself or having some sort of realization. So I have to be in the mood for some self-work too whenever I read that. Last thing is the Bible. This summer I'm reading in the book of John, and I wish I could say that I've been more on top of this one. I have not. I like to read in the mornings before my daughter wakes up, and lately I have been sleeping in and not doing my Bible reading before my daughter wakes up. So I'm not as far along in the book of John as I would like to be, and I'm also reading it with a friend of mine, and we've both just been kind of slacking. And usually during the school year, like September through May, I'm very on top of my Bible study every day because I go to a Bible study every week, and I have that accountability going on. So I have to have my Bible study by Thursday so that I can discuss it with my group and go to lecture and know what we're talking about. And I am really thankful that we do that, because otherwise I might be slow with my Bible reading and not as disciplined. So I'm trying to become more disciplined about doing this in the morning to start my day that way. The lack of accountability this season has really slowed me down in my Bible study. And honestly, I'm starting to feel that. Like, I'm starting to feel it in my spirit. Like, I just feel hungry and I need to get into the Word of God and have His words fresh on my mind. So I don't like to get to this point where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling really empty because I just haven't spent time with the Lord in a really long time, or I've barely spent time in His presence. I don't like to get to a place where I'm feeling like I really just need to be filled back up, but I am getting to that place. So this week I'm getting back into reading my Bible first thing in the morning, and I've decided that whether or not my daughter is awake whenever I wake up, it's going to be the first thing I do paired with breakfast. And if she's awake, I'm just going to read it to her. I don't focus or soak it in as much whenever I'm reading it to her and she is crawling all over my lap, but I think it's better than nothing. And I could do it at night, but I don't know why. I just don't feel like it at night. I much prefer doing Bible study in the morning, so prioritizing that. Those are the books that I am reading this summer. I would love to hear what you are reading, and do you read books the same way I do? Do you have like 4 going at one time, or do you finish a whole book like because you just can't put it down before you start another one? Let me know in the comments. I am curious. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that y'all are having a wonderful summer, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, goodness. That's a big belly.